Making more money on Etsy ads is extremely lucrative and extremely important to your business if you want to grow, which is why you need to know every single aspect of Etsy ads and how it works to scale your business. What's up, everybody? Dave here. So today we're going to go over the Etsy ads sales goals. Each one of them functions differently. Each one of them should tell the algorithm how to behave and who to show you to. And each one of them serves a great purpose, but deciding where you want to be, who you want to go in front of, and which setting you are going to choose is a big deal. So be sure to watch every aspect of this video and stay tuned until the end, because I want to tell you something really important about it that I believe is very crucial to this setting. So let's get started. The first one is increase visibility and awareness. Now, each one of these objectives mirrors Pinterest, Facebook, Google, and their types of objectives. So this one mirrors brand awareness on Pinterest and awareness on Meta. So this function, it serves as more of impressions over clicks. So you're going to get a broad range of exposure. You're going to be put in front of a lot of people, and your click-through rate might go down a bit because you're going to be put in front of such a wide audience. But the whole goal is to increase visibility and awareness. So impressions over clicks, and Etsy is likely prioritizing showing your listings widely, even if those shoppers aren't in immediate buy mode. Where the shopper is in their product purchase path, Etsy pays attention to, and they have that data. It's all on their website. They're paying attention to how buyers behave. So you better believe they know who to show the ads to based on how they behave on the platform. You're going to get a lower click-through rate, like I said, and but you will appear in more searches. So sometimes they're going to be less relevant, but you are going to appear in more searches, very likely. And it's just like the awareness and the brand awareness campaigns on other platforms. It's best for new shops that are building traction and are just testing new product categories. You're not in absolute make money mode. Obviously, that's the whole goal for every Etsy seller. But if you're just beginning, that is a good choice. It's not the choice that I would choose in every single journey, even if you are new. But it does serve a purpose, and I have seen people go with that route. The second one, drive orders short term. Now, this one is a little bit more geared towards conversions and sales. The algorithm is likely focusing on clicks and conversions, and it's showing your listings to users with stronger buyer intent, right? They can tell if a buyer, based on their purchase history, buys quickly, takes a long time to search for different things. How many times did this buyer search this phrase or related phrases and hasn't bought anything yet? Or things like that. They take close account of these metrics, the algorithm does, and it knows where the buyer is. So drive order short term is likely to get you clicks and conversions. It's going to cost you higher cost per click, most likely, but more purchase ready traffic. Okay, that's what drive order short term is, and it's essentially in the title of the objective. However, there is the next one that I will talk about later on that is very similar to this, so it can be confusing. This is very much like the conversions and the purchases and the sales driven objectives on other platforms. But you might get a higher cost per click, but you'll be shown to different types of buyers, okay? Promote specific items. This one is likely focusing the algorithm on narrow targeting around the chosen listings that you have in your campaign. If you do choose this one, I would say turn off everything that you don't want to promote, that you don't want to advertise. This would be a good one if you chose to only put bestsellers in your ad campaign. I would put promote specific items on as that one. You're going to have less algorithmic testing. You're going to have less spread, but it is going to narrow on those listings that you chose. And if your sales start to increase on those listings, on those ads, then it will likely push it further and push it further and push it further for just those items, right? And this one is a little bit counterintuitive though, in my opinion. I'm not sure why Etsy would choose to have promote specific items, but then at the same time, we are choosing to promote specific items by choosing which listings are in our ad campaign. So it's kind of a catch-22. I don't see a lot of use for this one, but if you did do only bestsellers, turned off everything else, and put it on this, you could see some interesting results. So the next one, take my sales up a notch. Now, this is what I see most students of mine choose right off the bat, either that one or drive orders short term. And this is the one that you want to make your way to. In the beginning, I would recommend drive orders short term and then graduate to take my sales up a notch, but it depends on where you're at with your journey, where your store is at, and all of those different things. But if you want to just kind of click something and forget about it, I would go with take my sales up a notch or drive orders short term. The other ones are so specific or almost useless with brand awareness and everything, pushing your products to a large group of people, that I wouldn't choose those ones. If I had to choose only two, it'd be drive orders short term and take my sales up a notch. But if you want help choosing which one to implement, as well as grow your Etsy ads and your Etsy store, I would love to have you. I've helped thousands of Etsy sellers grow their business. You can book a free call in the description below. We can talk about your store, how I can help you, etc. Also, grab the free Etsy ads cheat sheet in the description below. But back to the video here, take my sales up a notch is likely focusing on ROAS and growing the sales within the ad campaign. So Etsy is likely balancing your reach and your conversions and showing it to people that they know buy. Now, this can be somewhat limiting, right? Because if they are only showing it to people that they know buy often, then you might not get the reach that you want, or it just might not balance itself out. So that's why in the beginning, you could choose drive orders short term to try to gather data, or even the visibility one to see what happens with it. But you have to know where you're at, because there's so many different moving parts to your Etsy ads campaign, especially with an Etsy seller in general. A lot of the times your average Etsy seller is changing a lot of these settings around, wondering what's going on, wondering if it's working, stuff like that. And it's tough to nail down what is actually happening if you're always changing things. And I have other videos on Etsy ads. I have other videos on how to handle that. And we can even go through your account together if you'd like. There's a link in the description for that. But take my sales up a notch is for the algorithm trying to optimize your profit and get you sales. It's not, explicitly reaching out to people. This would be best, in my opinion, if you already have a good amount of sales, because then Etsy knows who you sell to and who buys your products most often. All right. So it's kind of a catch-22 there. And then the next one, maximize my exposure to help compete against similar shops. This is very likely, placing you in your competitors' search results, trying to get your listings in the same searches and browsing feeds as your competitors. Now, you're doing that already if you're using the same keywords as your competitors and you're running Etsy ads. So it is very likely. However, maybe, just maybe, I don't know how Etsy, I'm not an Etsy employee, I'm not an Etsy developer, and I don't have any insider knowledge. But it would be my best guess, my educated guess, after 7 years of coaching Etsy sellers and watching how the algorithm behaves and changes. I've been through every single Etsy ad change, every single Etsy change, etc. My educated guess would be that maybe maximizing my exposure to help compete against other similar shops, that setting would kind of bypass a pecking order type ranking to put you into ad placements that your competitors are in as well. That's a potential thing. I don't know for sure. It's focusing on head-to-head search terms where there's multiple similar items competing and things like that. So it's best for saturated niches where visibility against competitors is the main battle. So what is my general recommendation? My general recommendation is to try number 5, number 4, or number 2. I don't like number 1 or number 3. I don't like increased visibility and awareness or promote specific items. I believe drive orders short term, take my sales up a notch, and maximize my exposure to compete. Those are the 3 most useful sales objectives on Etsy ads. Now, this is what I wanted to tell you. This is what I was mentioning at the beginning of the video. These settings have been largely useless so far. I have not seen in my student stores or any stores these settings make a huge difference. A lot of this is right now, just like many other Etsy ad settings as they roll out, a cute little survey where you're telling Etsy what you really want to do. Now, what is my educated guess and my prediction? I've gotten many predictions correct in the past, by the way. My prediction is that they will slowly turn up the weight of these settings as they go. Why? Because Etsy as a platform doesn't want a vast amount of advertisers all just trying to take the same exact ad space in front of all types of buyers. As they go, their machine is learning and learning and learning. They know what types of buyers there are and what type of ad space to put in front of them. It's not just a click and show ad. It is a smart system, as much as that's hard to believe sometimes. They are attempting, I would believe so. This is my educated guess as well. I would believe that they are trying to optimize this system as well throughout the years. And changes take place very slowly, but my guess is that they're going to slowly turn the dial on the weight of these settings as the time passes. So those are the use cases of those different sales goals. Now, you might change it to one of these today or tomorrow and not see really much of a result or a change. That's okay because it's different for every store, it's different for every niche. But I do recommend you try one of these out. I would try drive orders short term if you want to try to get your budget to spend a little quicker. That is very useful because then once your budget starts spending, you'll get more data and you'll be able to get some winning products. Then once you're having a ton more momentum and sales, then you turn it on to take my sales up a notch. But that's my recommendation. Please let me know if you have any questions. I would love to help you in your store. Book a free call in the description. Grab my free Etsy Ads cheat sheet. All of my helpful links are in the description below. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I hope you have a beautiful day.